Hello, Project Runway fans. I'm Gold Derby editor Daniel Montgomery here with our fellow editor Susan Wloszczyna to talk about the season 18 premiere of Project Runway. As we're recording this, the new season premiered last night on December 5th. Let's just get straight into it. It ended surprisingly to me with not just an elimination, but a double elimination. They sent home both Ozma Bibi and Jen Sharkow, who were teamed up for a team challenge to design looks inspired by, sort of going into, like, hanging out at a space station. So futuristic looks, but chic. I disagreed with the judge's decision to send both home. First off, what did you think about that season?
It didn't bother me as much because if you remember the premiere of this Return to Bravo version, we had two people, being picked there, and we thought the one that was chosen to go home should have stayed. And maybe it would have been fairer if they just got rid of both of them. And I think in this case, I don't know why they did that, because it's like, what, one less episode, right? So
Unless, it could be instead, because since they have the Siriano save, that will give us one extra episode.
Oh, okay. There you go. See, so that's why they did it.
But if it's double elimination, I don't know why you do it like first show right off the bat.
Right. But I'm glad. Now, we both mentioned they should have had a save last season, so they apparently listened to.
They read us closely.
Yeah.
The producers,
And they showed Swatch not once but twice in full body shots.
And they gave him a little Tyler Carth Swatch.
I know. So they're listening to us. They
really need to Swatch challenge. That's the other thing they need to. Somehow inspired by Swatch.
Yeah, just the pattern of his fur is coloring. But I think this crew of designers are a little more. Well, not all of them are confident. A few of them had little breakdowns and left their fabric behind. Yes. That doesn't happen very often. I think he must have used that flowered pattern instead of whatever he was going to use. Yeah. But, and then it looked cheap. It did look a little Target-y, I thought. Not that that's bad, but...
I felt bad for him when the judges told him, Brandon told him, it looks like a bad Destiny's Child costume. And he was he sank into the ground.
No, Elaine said that. She came up with Destiny's Child. Yeah.
It feels like something Brandon would say, so I misremembered that.
But he didn't get Brandon saying, "What in the actual hell?" That was the line of the episode should have been called. It was just blast off. But it's hard at this point to know who the heck these people are, let alone, know what they designed. But a few made impressions, I think. Alan is one of them. They're obviously.
I enjoy Alan. He might be my COVID of the season, where it's just even if I don't know if his designs will always be on top for me personally, but I'm always going to enjoy him in the workroom running to get macaroons.
Right. Yes. No, he has his priorities straight. Get the food. Now, Sergio, I noticed. I did read your recap. At least one person did know. That's me.
Thank you. You were the ones. Yeah.
Sergio, at first I was impressed by him because he created that Billy Porter look at the Tonys, but then
his bragging rights, absolutely.
Okay, but he obviously is on the show for a reason, but he acts like, they're lucky to have me. Basically came off that way, and there is going to come a point, he will, kind of have to, reassess his abilities, because Christian's not going to let him get away with just being, I'm the Billy Porter guy, you know.
Christian's the Billy Porter guy too. You don't see Christian being like, even though he's the mentor, he's never like, I'm better than all of you.
Right. I realize he's like the Rachel Maddow of reality mentors because he always wears black. It's like, and there was a story floating around recently. Somebody asked him about his clothing taste, and he goes, "I don't care what I wear." So it's all about his clients and all that. But yeah, he's going to be taken down a notch. I think
he's going to be a problem. I liked his look. I think the judges were right that his partner Brittany Allen, who actually won the challenge, had the better look. So I'm glad he didn't win the challenge. But like as soon as he started, like at the very beginning of the episode, it's like, you know, I'm already at the level of Brandon Maxwell and Christian Siriano, and I'm like, then why are you on Project Runway? Like, take it down.
They're not on Project. Well, Christian was, but he doesn't have to be.
Graduated from competing on Project Runway. Brandon is the mentor
to running things,
and now they're sort of the ones judging and sort of overseeing things. So, like, even if you think you're the best, like, you could be like, I'm so good, like, I'm going to win this competition. Like, that might be a little overconfident, but to be so almost dismissive of the judge and the mentor, it reminds me a little bit of last year we were talking about that first elimination. She came off as really arrogant, too.
Right, but she was obnoxious more than arrogant. I mean, she took it to another level of being very full of herself and, you know, above it all. And I don't think he's quite that way. It's just about his, you know, ego and stuff. He's wearing it on his sleeves.
But the good news is, what makes Sergio different is that so far he's keeping those kinds of, you know, I'm better than X, Y, and Z. I'm already at this level. That's been kept to the confessionals. Like in the actual workroom, he seems like he's pretty like he seems respectful of everybody's work, at least from what little we've seen edited together into 90 minutes for like 16 contestants.
But Brittany was refreshing because she's an Uber driver, and then she promotes her wedding dresses, which that one that they showed was gorgeous. So, you know, she's got the goods too. And but when they don't have confidence, like that Jeffrey guy, who was one of the top looks, I mean, he was just making the whole thing in Muslim, and it's like, no, they're not going to wear that. But it turned out okay with him. Yeah. I think he managed to do what he had to do. But that Dae-Young Kim, she was so hard on herself.
Yeah, I was watching the episode thinking there are two kinds of designers who are like really stressed out and like underconfident, and like there's the one who's just disorganized and bad, and then there's the one who is like just really just second guess themselves constantly, but they turn out to be great. Sebastian last season was like that, and he won the season. Right. The irony of that, I thought watching the episode, it's like, oh, Dae-Young is being so hard on herself, and she is so meticulous, or at least it seems like that's, you know, what she's bringing to it. That I thought she's going to be fine. So I was a little bit surprised that it turned out to be Jeffrey that was the one who was underconfident, and Dae-Young that actually had the problem with the design. Although I thought Dae-Young's look was fine, other than the slightly thing. Yeah, you know, that could have been better, but I wouldn't have put her in the bottom.
Well, it was like a sling for your shoulder. I don't know.
Yeah. If it hadn't been for that like thing, like strapping down the arm, I think they would have been safe. I think they would have picked another team for the bottom.
Yeah. And I do like, she can stop saying she's the oldest contestant ever after this episode. But Nancy Volpe Berenger, yes, she has crossed that line. So, yeah.
And I like that she was good. Like, you know,
and she was pleasant, and she wasn't being a mom like they do on Survivor. Yeah. When the older ladies come on, they tend to be mothering, and they don't. That is their curse. Like, don't get in my face, lady.
She was collaborative. She was warm, but not, like you said, not like they didn't make her the mom of, you know, the contestants. She's actually still fairly green in terms of the fact that she's only been designing for a few years because she left a previous career. And so I really, really like her. A lot of times what will happen is that you'll get a designer who is really kind of kumbaya and really loves everybody. And their work just turns out to be kind of like slapdash or just, they're not putting as much work or attention into it. But she's not like, she had a great look, and she and her partner.
She had the only reveal.
Yeah. Like,
but Brandon didn't even mention it. He was too busy saying, what in the actual hell?
Yeah, so I really like her, and she's got the goods, I think. So, I mean, I don't know if she'll make it that far, because it's obviously too early to tell, but she's one that I'm happy to see in the workroom for a while.
Well, the looks that they showed of hers, were pretty impressive. So, and they weren't too much, it seemed like they were wearable, but also nicely done. So, but anyway, well, do we have anything else to say? We covered Swatch, we covered Siriano Save, and from the press site, it looks like they're going to go to Fashion Week again this season. So, because that was just like a fake thing that they did last year, just a pretend one. But no,
which is probably why they brought the new season back so soon, like, because it's only been a few months.
Oh, the hookup, to sink in.
Line up with Fashion Week.
Yeah.
I will say that I think Brittany was a totally deserving winner. My personal favorite duo was Delvin McRae and Tyler Nesloney, who, like, Delvin was another one like Sergio. I was a little bit worried that he would hit the arrogance a little hard, because he had that lab coat where it's like, oh, I'm just like those French ateliers, and and then he was sleeping on the job at the end because he was all done. So I'm like, oh, he better put up or shut up. But he had that jumpsuit, that sort of red and white jumpsuit.
Yeah.
That was my personal favorite look. So I'm like, okay, you walked the walk, you didn't just talk the talk.
No, I thought they were gonna be one of the teams in the top.
Me too.
Because they actually used the atmosphere to inspire them, and that was a great red. It wasn't a horrible red, like blood or something. Yeah. It was more spacey, what they did.
Yeah, and it was more cohesive, I think, than Jeffrey and Melanie, whose really the only thing their looks had in common was brown.
Right. Yeah.
And Melanie's look was well made, but it didn't really feel futuristic at all. So I wouldn't have put them as a team. I wouldn't have put them in the top.
Yeah. But I did like this challenge, because I like when it's a concrete concept and not some of the more spacey ones that they had last year. But but they didn't really show anything. They showed like a series from different episodes, I guess, to preview. So it was a little hard to tell what was going to be ahead next week or anything like that. But I'm sure they'll put little clips on the online and show us little more tastes. But yeah.
I'm still a little sad we won't get to see either Ozma or Jen get to design something on their own. Like, I do still think it was a little unfair to eliminate two on a team challenge to start the season, just because, things can happen. You can get unlucky and have a partner that you don't really click with stylistically, which is what happened. And so they're trying to sort of work with each other and losing themselves along the way. And so I think, okay, you got to eliminate one of them. But I thought I would love to have seen what Ozma especially could have kept bringing to the competition. I really thought she had a lot to offer.
But they basically showed the work. They picked the wrong fabric because it needed to be stretchy, and they both
Ozma's death knell was telling the judges in a fashion competition, I'm never working with cotton again. It's like, that's the one thing that I get. Like, I'm not a designer, so I don't know how hard really fabrics are to work with, but it's like, it's cotton. It's not like, like a lot of people are like, oh, I'll never work with this plastic organza or this. Like, it's the most basic fabric you can think of.
Right.
And she says she never wants to work with it again because it's too difficult to use that fabric. So I will say that that gave me a bit of pause.
Right. But were they the ones looking for the stretchy fabric? in the beginning? I can't remember.
I can't remember. Mood was kind of like a whirlwind with like 16 people.
Running around. They didn't look at the worst colors though. Like sometimes last season, like you're like, no, don't pick that. But their taste level I think is a little bit better this season. So we'll see. And it seems like they can sew.
Yeah, it does seem like it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I hate that drama when they all have to stand around and take turns sewing someone's zipper in or something.
Yeah. Although we will hear from Sergio clearly. I mean, we saw it from the clip that like these people don't know what they're doing. They can barely, design or sew or anything like that.
Right.
Oh, Sergio. Like even if it turns out to be true, don't be that guy.
Yeah.
So with that, thank you for joining me, Susan, to discuss the season premiere of Project Runway. And thanks to everyone for watching. We will be back every week to discuss Project Runway Season 18, and we will have much more to say as the season progresses, because obviously with so many designers, we're only just getting to know them as, and of course editing is leading us along the way of what to think about these designers too. So we'll be able to form a little bit more of an informed opinion about who these designers are and where they deserve to end up. I don't know who deserves to win based on this first challenge. There are any number of people who are quite good. So with that, thank you very much, and we will see you next week.